Good morning. So, at the urging again of my son to get back into podcasting, today you get a solo John. I have some other podcasts on the horizon, but they're not there yet. But as a filler, you get me today. And just my thoughts lately, the past month or so. This one's about my happiness. And it takes a turn quick, but it gets back there, I hope. I'm disappointed that people don't have the capacity to look past other people's differences. At 33 years old, I felt like Superman. And there's a whole long story to this, but I felt like Superman. I was untouchable, or so I thought. And then I was immediately hit with cancer, and it was bad. I went through so much shit, not only physically, but mentally. Big emphasis on mentally, because the wounds heal, but the mental scars are still there. 4 surgeries, maybe 5, if I remember. It's been a while. 2 radiation treatments that made me so sick I couldn't eat. And in case you haven't noticed, I like to eat. I've talked to a lot of cancer survivors about how they view life after cancer. And it's usually the same from everyone. Why are you letting the little shit bother you? Life is so much bigger than your petty shit. There's been a lot of cancer survivors, along with myself, that will say, I wish everyone could get cancer, and then everyone would understand how precious this life is. And that's why I don't get it. I'm sure when I was younger, I was a judger. To some extent, I still am. But I've gotten a lot better. Much better. And I'm happy that I have the ability to grow as a person. I'm old enough to remember how badly people talked about a black person dating a white person. I'm old enough to remember the prejudice against homosexuality. I've seen a lot of advancement in my life. I recently became irritated that my phone wouldn't connect to my vehicle because of a system update. And my wife reminded me, remember when you were young and didn't have that kind of technology? We actually had to hand crank our windows up and down in our cars. And that kind of, again, put it into perspective a little bit of how much we've grown. Things change. Change is good, believe it or not. Excuse me. I understand some people are afraid of change and just want to live in the bubble they have built for themselves that make themselves comfortable. I understand that also. I do that a little myself. But we, as a human race, have made huge advancements in the last 50 years. And yet, we still judge others around us. Why do some of us not have the ability to advance or to grow? Not asking you to agree with everything different than you or what you have in your life. I'm asking you to be accepting of others and who they are and who they choose to be and how they choose to live. That's them, not you. I laughed at the people that took major offense to Bud Light's decision to support a transgender person. In my opinion, do you understand how foolish that makes you look? I'd ask you to imagine a government or the major population, how's that bans having a mullet. I'd ask you to imagine those people that bans people from having blonde hair and blue eyes, that bans you from sleeveless shirts, that bans you from monster truck rallies, that bans you from NASCAR. Hopefully I didn't pigeonhole you all. They don't. But if they did, how would that make you feel? How would you feel if the majority of population turned on your kind, whatever that kind is? Someone encroaching in on your rights. Now go look in the mirror. If you don't want the government getting into your business, then why are you getting into someone else's business that you don't even know? You won't support Bud Light, the beer you've enjoyed drinking on a weekend after a long week of working your ass off, because they supported someone different than you. Who cares? To remind you, cancer doesn't care. When someone's not allowed to be who they are inside, then we all lose. So, let me paint you a picture. Bud Light loses 20% of its sales in partly because of your actions and others that group with you. Hey, good for you. You made a difference, didn't you? Did you ever think past the end of your nose, though? Because of the decline in their business, let's say Bud Light lays off 100 workers. You're responsible for the job loss of those 100 people. All because you didn't like that Bud Light chose to support a transgender person. Assuming Bud Light was just trying to increase their sales, trying to get into a market that they lack being in. That's probably all they were trying to do. And if you don't care about other people's jobs, why should anybody care about yours? What if you were one of those Bud Light employees? And let me tell you, I'm sure they made a fair chunk of change supporting their family, and now they don't because of you. I smiled because my wife's a Bud Light fan, and when given shit about drinking it by a few people, she looked at them in the eye and said, "Why do you care?" So I'll leave you with this. I said earlier, when someone's not allowed to be who they are inside, then we all lose. You can easily say, what about me? I should be able to do and say what I feel also. This is America. And you're right, it is. But I'd ask you to look in the mirror. Would you like someone lashing out at you and affecting your employment by what others say, just by what they say? If the answer is no, and don't be quick to answer that and go, I don't care. You would care if one day your boss Joe said, sorry, because of this, you don't have a job anymore. And by the way, you've been working paycheck to paycheck and you've lived a great life, but all of a sudden your life's put in shambles just because of this. So look in the mirror. Again, I'll repeat. Would you like someone lashing out at you and affecting your employment by what others say? If the answer is no, then don't do it yourself. And if you say you don't care, you're lying to yourself. And until it hits home, kind of like cancer does, maybe then you'll get it. Try to make this place a better world. Try not pushing negativity on others and people around you. I'm getting older. I don't think our kids need to see this. I think we need to leave this world a better place for our kids and pay it forward. And hopefully our kids will pay it forward. make the world a better place. Additionally, remember, children are watching and learning from you. White supremacy and prejudice is taught. Think before you speak. I'll repeat. Think before you speak. You have the opportunity to leave this world a better place. Just do it. And beloved, big hug for everybody. Hope you're watching.